Okay, well, welcome back. We're doing the exercises, not all of them, but some of the exercise problems um, in in chapter 5.3. Okay, this is part 4. So we've made three other videos. Currently, we're on number 7, and in this video, we're going to do um, one or two of the problems in number 7. We're going to do 8, and then one problem in 9. So let's begin. 7. We have 7D here. Just one second. Let's get it. Let's get a color. Let's go to midnight blue. All right. So 7D is 5 1/3 x. Okay. Equals negative 5 6. All right. Before I do anything, I want to change this into an improper fraction. So let's change that into an improper fraction. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. So it's actually 16 thirds, all right, x equals negative 5 6, okay? Now, this is really 16 over 3 times x. So in order to get x by itself, we can divide by 16 thirds, and when we divide by 16 thirds, so we can divide by 16 thirds, and when we divide by 16 thirds, we're actually going to times this by its reciprocal, so it's 3/16. Okay, so this cancels this out. What we do to one side, we do to the other side, so times 3/16. Now, before we continue forward, we may want to see if we can cancel anything out. And so what do we have here? We have a 6 on bottom. The 6 on bottom can be written as 2 times 3. So now we have a 3 on top and 3 on bottom, so we can cancel those out. So now what we have on bottom is we have 2 times 16, and we have on top a negative 5. So let's rewrite all that as negative 5 over 32, all right, because 2 times 16 is 32. And that's as far as we can go. That's the answer. We can't reduce it any farther. We're done. Okay, so that was 7D. Now let's do 8. Okay. Now 8, and just so you know, we're on page 297. So 8 is talking about how far one can see based off of the height that they're at on Earth, okay? So their elevation. And the formula that they use is D equals 7/2 times the square root of h, okay? So that is the formula, and basically what it's saying, what this formula says is if you're at a certain height, whatever the square root of that height is, times 7/2 equals the distance that you can see. So, if you're on top of a mountain, obviously you can see farther. If you're on top of a skyscraper, you can see farther as well. If you're just on top of, on a deck at your house, if you have a deck, then you're only going to see, a certain distance, but you'll see farther the higher you're up. So basically, that's the formula. That's what this formula means. So this this D also is the distance that you can see in kilometers, okay? Kilometers, all right? That's the distance you can see in kilometers. And H is the height that how high you are above the ground in meters, okay? So it tells us that you are at a height of 20 and 1/4 meters. So this H equals 20 and 1/4, okay? So we're just going to plug that in. So we have D equals 7/2 times the square root of 20 and 1/4. But we can't square root this. 20, there's no such thing as 20 and 1. There's no such thing as the square root of 20, all right? Or at least we're not going to get a whole number. But if we change this to a proper fraction, maybe we can. So let's try that out. What's 4 times 20? Well, 4 times 20 is 80. Aha! And then we have 80 plus 1, so that turns into 81 fourths. All right? I'm just going to deal with this inside right now. I'll deal with this later. So 81 fourths, the square root of that is 9 halves. So let's rewrite this problem. Let's give ourselves just a little bit more room. All right, right there. So D equals 7 halves times, we don't need the square root anymore, so times 9 halves. All right, so then we just time straight across. So now D equals, well, let's use the same color. D equals, now we'll change it a little bit. 7 times 9 is 63, and then divided by 4. Okay, but then let's change this to a mixed number. Okay, so what times 4 will get us close to 60? That's the question at hand. Well, I think I know what it is. How about we know that 4 times 12, all right, that equals 48. We know that. So we're getting close. I think it's going to be 15 personally. Let's try it out. 15 times 4, that's 20, carry a 2, and there's 60 right there. All right. So it is 60. So we do long division. All right, 63. It goes into it 15 times. So 1 here, and then a 4, and then we bring a 2 down, and a 3, and then this goes into this another 5 times. So now we have a 20, and then, oops, we run out of room. All right, hold on. There we go. Oops. There we go. All right. So that gives us a remainder of 3. And so there it is. So it's 15 with a remainder of 3. And then we divide that by 4. So the answer is 15. So the distance that you can see is 15 kilometers. Because remember, D is in kilometers. So you can see 15 and 3/4 kilometers. So if you're at a height of 20 and 1/4 meters above the ground, you're going to see 15 and 3/4 kilometers. There's the answer. All right, let's do one of the problems in 9, and then we'll just end the video at that point. Okay, so 9. Let's just do 9A, okay? So 9A is part of a story problem. So the story problem is this. An object dropped from a height falls a distance of d feet in t seconds, okay? So there's a formula for that, all right? And here's the formula. So if you drop something from a height, it's going to fall at d equals t squared, okay? So if something's falling from a building, all right, as it goes down, it's dropping at 16 times t squared, okay? That's how fast it's dropping, all right? So then it goes on to say that you're on top of a building and a math book is dropped from the top of that building. All right, and it says that the building is 400 feet tall. Doesn't matter at the moment how tall the building is. All we want to know is how far it has dropped in 1.5 seconds. So in this case, t equals 1 1/2. All right, because t is in seconds. All right, t is time in seconds. D is distance in feet. Okay, so what is the distance that a book has dropped in 1.5 seconds? Well, let's change this 1.5 to 3/2. All right, you should memorize that by now. Have that memorized by now. So now it's going to be 16. It's going to be 16 times let's use white, 3/2 squared. Okay. Well, 3/2 squared is 9/4, and we're times that by 16. And 16 could also be rewritten as 16 over 1. And then 16 is 4 times 4. Now we have a 4 on top, 4 on bottom, so we cancel 1, cancel the other one. So now all we have on top is 4 times 9, because this is multiplication. 4 times 9 equals 36. So the answer to the question is, after 1.5 seconds, that book has dropped 36 feet. Okay? All right. Maybe we'll do B as well. Let's do B as well real quick. I think we have some time. So same formula, but now they're saying, okay, they're saying that it's been, instead of 1.5 seconds, it's been 3.5 seconds. Change this to a proper fraction. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7/2. So what you're going to have over here is 7/2 squared. Okay, so let's do that. That's going to be 49. 7 times 7 is 49 over 4. And then again, we're going to have this 16 over 1. We're multiplying it, all right? So D equals this. 16 can be rewritten as 4 times 4. We can cancel out one of the 4's on top, one of the 4's on bottom. Now we just have 4 times 49. So 4 times 49. So let's do that. All right. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus the 0 is 160. And then plus 4 times 9 is 36. So that should be 196. So in 3.5 seconds, the book has now fallen 196 feet. That's pretty long distance just for 3.5 seconds. So you can see the book is dropping at a very quick speed. All right, I'll let you do C, 9C on your own, and we'll end the video there. If you have any questions, then just email me, or I'll see you in class. All right.